worked with the British. Some of the Africans worked with the British. We'll talk about that one later. So because of that, the son, Philip, was taken to England. That's the son. There were three, Philip, Thomas, and William. When they got to England, the two died. He survived. British trained him in England as a pastor and a teacher. He came back to the country, then he wrote as a pastor and a teacher, preaching in the Anglican church. He preached to some mulatto children. Sometimes he preached to all white congregation. He worked for the British for the whole of his life. He died October 17, 1816, 75 years of age. So because he worked for the white men, that was why he buried him. The honor is the burial dedication. This Flipeku, who later became Reverend Flipak. In this time, there are some schools named after him. And when he came, colonial time, he promoted Western education. These three are white, so let's talk about this one.
Indoctrination.
What was his name?
I remember the name. Your opinions.
Oh, yeah.
So these are for Europeans. So you can see that
Grave sites.
separation. Yes. Black person and white one. Let's begin with this. This was somebody called C.B. Whitehead. I do not know how white the head was. It was called Whitehead. He was a soldier. Died 1812, 1838 till now. We don't know exactly what killed Whitehead. This was somebody called George McLean. No names like McLean, McDonald's, McCarthy, they are Scottish names. 1810 as a governor. It was McLean who came to here. Africans were going to the town, they know that. The same man started a court after I will go later. As I told you, after slave trade 400 years, British colonized Ghana and the capital and they used this place as an administrative center. So colonial time, the capital of Ghana was in Cape Coast. And then we moved to Accra, March 1877. Before Accra became the national capital, that home was a law court. He also made the local people to sign an agreement called the Bond of 1844. That gave British power to colonize us for over 100 years. He stayed here 17 years. You know what killed McLean? Mosquitoes. Malaria. He died malaria. He died 1847, 1846 from mosquitoes. That is the wife of McLean, called Letitia Elizabeth Lending. She was the only white woman who came around during the entire period of the trade. But 2 months, the woman died. 2 months? 2 months, 2 months. And McLean came first without a wife. So for like 6 years, McLean wasn't going to England. So the woman came from England to visit the husband. When she got to this place, 2 months, she was found dead. There were a lot of rumors at that time. One school of thought said malaria killed the lady within 2 months on arrival. The other one said because McLean stayed longer, McLean wasn't going to England again. McLean has gone in for an African woman. No! Called Miss Ghana McLean. Yes. So when Letitia came to head of that story, out of jealousy, she took some poison and died. But the last one also said that the woman that McLean was going out, the African woman, the woman was a beautiful, fantastic, a complete African woman by all standards. That woman wanted to have McLean forever as the husband. So when Letitia came, the Ghanaian woman posed as a servant, then poisoned Letitia, so that she got McLean to marry. So these are the theories. So I did the death of this lady. So till now, 2022, 3, me, I don't know what killed her. But she died. She died 1837, 10 years before the husband died. Age 36. So what do you think killed Letitia? So to us to the side. There's something in the reservoir. This was done by Europeans. Went through the volume is about 20,000 gallons. They only do rain harvesting. They have some pipes like this around the building. The pipes are connected up. So whenever it rains, they harvest all the water and store the water for drinking. 1 in 2.
Water for drinking.
That was, they depend on this water for drinking, washing, everything.
Is that salt water?
No, it's not salt water.
I mean in the ocean, so they had to do this.
We have to do this. For drinking. It's very good.
Like the well.
So let's move, let's come around here.
That's how they got water.
The dungeon wasn't good enough. They had to make cells in there.
Not cells.
to Make it worse.
For a different purpose. We are entering one of the cells. So, but as we enter, please bend very good. So let's go. Watch it. Let's go. But don't fear, okay? There's nothing to fear.
So not only they have them in cages, they had a cell to die.
Yeah, they took the buildings also.
Lord help her.
We went to a meeting. They scored a crossbow.
Yeah.
This one had a no score in crossbow.
Just died.
Just died.
Just died.
The same thing there. The same thing.
Same thing.
The same concept. So watch your head. Right.
Yeah, I've been here before.
Oh, you mean? Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. Small place up in here.
No air conditioning.
No air conditioning, no light. My God.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a good place. Now we have to know that the white men designed this for our ancestors that they kept in the dungeons. And looking at Africans that were going to toilet, doing everything in the dungeon, they were not coming out.
Oh
So they were
God.
suffering. For that matter, some of them were fighting the white people. They wanted freedom. That was the message. Those doing that, especially men, were brought here. This cell has 3 doors. Take note. One door, if you remove this one. Another door in the middle, and the last one. So they'll bring all those Africans here. They will lock the 3 doors. They won't give them food, no water, no air, no light, and they kill them. They were starved to death. The last door left is open. And look at the way we are sweating here. If they locked the 3 doors and we're here, just imagine that was how they killed African people. So, but today we are not dying, we are going back. But keep your heads low, please.
So what is this?
It used to be an exit door there. And the way they were fighting, they knew perhaps they could break it. So they sealed that place. So watch your head as you go back. Watch it.
My God.
Yeah.
So many people have died and suffocated in here. And there was a door, they sealed it because they didn't want them to get out. On the floor, Lord. Urine, peed, and pooped in here. They had 3 cell doors here, he was saying.
My head. Somebody, are you the last one?
Yes.
Okay. Now let me show you something here. This door is original from the British. It's wood coated with metal. It may not be the first, but this door is from the British. Now look at something, piece of writing. If you know about the year of return 2019, do you know why 2019 was called year of return? Not 2020, not 2015, not this year, but 2019. Do you know why?
That marked the 400 year end to the slave trade.
You know, he marked 400, but not the end.
What did they mark?
Okay, I just want your opinion first. If you don't know, I will tell you.
Okay.
We talk about year of return 2019. 2019 marked exactly 400 years of a slave ship that left the shores of West Africa to
Right.
Jamestown in Virginia.
1619
North
project.
America.
Yeah.
The year was 1619. But that does not mean that was the first time Africans were taken to the New York. Before Jamestown, some of them were taken to South America, Brazil, Caribbean, about 200 years. And this one was in relation to Jamestown, North America. So because that was 400 years, it was a kind of anniversary or commemoration.
Right.
Therefore, millions of Africans, diasporans came to Ghana. That's it.
Yeah.
I've never seen that human traffic in my life before.
Yeah. Was a lot.
From January through December. December it was even worse. But look, on this day, 22nd August 2019, 200 people came here on a tour. They came at a go, boom. The organizers of the group were Danny Glover and Maurice Kojo. In fact, we took them around. It was a Sunday. It was so emotional. When we finished the entire lesson, the tour, they decided to put on their names here to show that they were here during everything. So 200 at a go. You can see the writing. Say we are the children of those who refuse to die. Right? Then if their ancestors had died here, they wouldn't have been living in the US and other places. It's a very powerful emotional piece of writing.
Wow.
You might know some of the celebrities. Most of them are celebrities. You can take a picture, you wouldn't mind. You can take a picture. Come to your left side of it, you want to take a picture.
So just so I'm clear, these people.
That's what we did, 2019.
Mm.
Yeah. We didn't come in the summer though. We didn't come in August or September. And then, came to some other
So why they have the cannons over here by the water?
Oh, he looked there. Oh, yeah. This is like anytime you are territorial, you guard your territory, right? You got a commodity. So they were like the British have it, they go fight against the Portuguese and the Dutch to keep them coming and taking their, they're part of it. They're human cargo. So that's why they see.
Oh, okay.
But he'll give you a good.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Here's the water.
If it looks great, you can see one of the planes. We are down there some I said when we're ready to go with Africans, they will do selection at the last children. So according to them, per their standard, those who are strong, they don't bring them outside. They go through it. So there's a big hole down with the ship. Big tunnel.
There's a big tunnel hole down there that they would take them.
Just like the size of them, the ark. That is how big it is. They walk through to the ships. And the tunnel is about 80 meters long. These ones are cannons for you to attack other units. These ones are cannonballs. Do you want to take some pictures or we should move on straight away? So let's move on. Don't worry, madam. When you finish everything, you have the time to take pictures. Far away. So we want to go to the dock. We are going to the dock. Let's move on.
Moving on.
Just stretch it.
And they don't want this in our history. At home. They don't want you to
This
teach it.
pole started from where the shrine is.
Come on, see this.
They walk through this. They force the Africans through this tunnel to the ships.
You change.
In chains. So this was where they check on them as they go to the exit. They check on them as they go to the final exit. So let's move on.
This is the hole where they went down in to go, and they checked their names to go in the tunnels, to go on the boats. Lord have mercy. Here's another one, the door.
So originally this place wasn't locked, it was open. So they would start the journey from where the shrine is in chains. When you reach here, at first, this was the initial exit. All the men were going this way to the ships. But due to the tidal waves, the sea was coming in. So the British blocked that side. And this became the new entrance. So for me, instead of the Africans going this way, they passed it. And this was blocked by George McLean when the train stopped. So we are moving back again.
Finish.
Oh yeah, we sweat. I was prepared.
The cell
To sweat.
over there, that's a condemned cell. This was another cell. But the cell was designed for some of the female slaves that British wanted to rape and they refused. Because of mosquitoes, whites did not come to Africa with their knives. Mosquitoes killed them to the extent that they named the coast of West Africa white man's grave. So only men like us came. They left their wives in England to take care of their children. The British men who were here were adults, and they were not Roman fathers, so they couldn't stay with that women, so they raped the African women. But sometimes they wanted to do so, some women be fighting. They still refused rape. They brought them in.
So if the women refused rape, they brought them in here.
They locked them at the door.
Oh, Lord.
Stay for 1 week for punishment. And they were doing that to other women to see, so that tomorrow when they get closer to you, you don't fight with them. That hole was their toilet, go to them. That's where they go to toilet. They pass food and water through this hole.
Oh, Lord.
Once in a day, sometimes twice.
So this was the toilet in here, and they would lock her in here. My God. And they would feed her through the hole. She refused to be raped. As an example.
This and this were done just days for women. So let's have some.
You see a lot of flowers because a lot of death was in here. Stifling.
So we are entering one of the field dimensions.
You see a lot of flowers because of the deaths that's happened. People leave.
The women were 300. So 150 men, 150 the other one. As against 1,000 men. And women shouldn't have been taken as slaves at all. Because I told you they were taken to go and work for Europeans in their farms in Americas and Caribbean. So we talk of weeding and harvesting sugarcane, cotton, tobacco, rice, and working in the construction sectors and in the mines. Would have been men like us, and they took women. And they took women purposely to go and breed, to go and give birth, so they get more slaves. So when the women got there, 300 at a time, the white men forced them to multiply in their millions. They used them to work 400 years. They didn't pay them anything. In this castle, they treated them like the men. They go to toilet, they will urinate. At the end of every month, women here pass their menstruations. Naturally. They didn't allow them to bath. They didn't clean their teeth. They didn't give them any sanitary pad for 3 months. But upon all this treatment given to them, the white men still raped the African women. So anytime they wanted to rape, they leave upstairs, I'll take you there. They'll come down, they'll open this, that they'll look through. Then if they're the nice woman, they'll select you to their bedroom, they'll rape you. If you are picked, you'll be given a place to wash down first. They'll take you upstairs, they'll rape you. But if you refuse the rape upstairs, they'll bring you to the side, they'll punish you. Some of them became pregnant because of that. So when they're ready to go, women who got pregnant were freed from this castle. They built houses for their couples using bricks houses. They kept them, they became free people. They gave them all they needed. When they gave birth, sometimes they free the mother with the child. But they'll take care of their mother and the baby up to like 10 years or more. And they'll go and take the light skinned baby from the mother. They'll bring the mother again as a slave. And they gave birth to mulattoes, or light-skinned children. And they were proud giving names to those children. That is how come along the coast of Ghana, especially when Europeans settled, there were light-skinned people, and some of the Ghanaians having some European last names, like Van Dyke, Van der Poel, Van Vika, Bartels, Da Costa, De Souza, Johnson, Coulson, Rodson, Peterson, Robinson, Dixon, Jackson, Texan, Brown.
Bobby, Ricky, and
My God. So this was the women's cell. We saw the men. This was the women one. Very sad.
When the white men came to do this in Africa, we never did this. There was no Dixon, no Texan, no Blanson, no Roxy. There were typical African tribal names that if they mention, you know that this person is a Yoruba.
Yeah.
It's Igbo. It's Ashanti.
Yeah.
It's Kwewu. It's Dagomba. So our names are for identification.
Yeah.
I mentioned my last name now. Ghanaians say you know which part of Ghana. That's the way we think when white men came. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
So one question, when you say these places were built by Europeans, did they really build them, or they did the designs and they used the slaves to?
They used slaves in building it.
Because the credit goes to
the work was done by the black people.
Yes.
All the labor of African labor, they only sacrifice. Even the White House in America,
Yeah.
these blacks are here. When if you go to the White House,
Yes.
this is how they are.
They take the credit.
So these two are this female slave dungeon.
You know that a lot of inventions we see today, a lot of things were done by black people.
They have two of them.
Inventions. When you finish, they take it from them.
Yeah.
They being those who invented the electric brake. I linked there, they were black, they were blacks, two brothers.
To be what?
I say, black do a lot of things, invention, but when you do it, you take credit.
Yeah.
Door of return.
Take credit for it. This is a door of no return. The door was here, brothers
Door of
and
no
sisters,
return.
but it is not the original. The original was small and narrow, which was designed for one individual at a time. So when you're ready to go with them, women will come from here, men from there. They chain them. They go through one after the other. That was empty. They never get a chance to come back again. And the door was made bigger like this during colonial time. We happened to visit Elmina because Elmina has a rich one. This was changed. And if you go through this door of no return during the time of slave trade, as a black person, one, you will lose your identity. You will lose your culture, respect, dignity.
My God.
From here, some of the slaves were taken to North America, United States, places like Jamestown in Virginia, North and South Carolina, and almost all the original British states in America, 13 states original, they all passed through here. Some went to England, Liverpool. And Liverpool was the biggest slave harbor in the whole of Europe, Liverpool. Others were taken to Bristol, Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, including Barbados. And also went to Brazil. Brazilians were taken from Albania, Castle, Portuguese. Because Brazil was a Portuguese colony. Some of the Brazilians were taken from Angola, East Africa. But Suriname, Dutch Guyana, Curacao, and others were taken from Albania, Castle by the Dutch people. I also went to the French Caribbean. They were taken from Senegal, Gourmet Island. And interestingly, Brazil received the largest number of slaves from Africa. Do you know that? Wow. Yeah. Brazil got 47%. The entire slaves from Africa. And Brazil is the third largest black population in the whole world, outside Nigeria and Ethiopia.
Wow.
As we speak today, Brazil has a black population of about 93 million. Whoa. It is not a joke. More than the US. We are going to go through the however you are sure we are returning today.
You damn right I'm returning.
Millions. Millions.
My
You
God.
never see any actors in Brazil they watch on TV.
Right.
No, you don't show them.
Right. I never knew that.
You wouldn't know it, right? The line
Here's the boats. Are these the type of boats they use? They have big ships.
They had big ships.
Oh yeah, I know
So
better
ships
than
were
that.
around this place, far away from here. Sometimes about 300 meters away, or even more. Depends on the sea level, the waves. So they use boats to convey the blacks before they go to the bigger ships.
Okay.
Oh, they put them on the small boats and then take them over to the big ship.
These are original steps. The sea was here. The sea was all over here at the time. So they'll enter boats, then they'll go to the bigger ships far away.
Oh, these are the original steps.
These are original steps. And the sea was coming here. Even 2019, this one was done about 2 years ago.
The jetties? Those jetties, the
No,
breakers?
They stop the sea not to come through these.
These stones.
No, they are not dead.
It was not there. It was done
So these are the
3
original
years ago.
steps.
because if you look at the sea now, it's so rough, right? And the waves are very strong. This is a fishing community. So before this was done, this place nobody
Steps
could
our
even
ancestors had taken.
crash all these boats. So they did it just to come
God
out
help
of
us.
this so that the fish are not coming. What kind of stuff like this will change? And the door was narrow.
So now they have the door of the return. Now it says door of return right here.
But the one was built on this end of the castle by the British. They built it long into the sea. They built that wall as a boundary to separate them from the locals. The locals who were here before they came to meet them, they limited them to they were at the back. And this place was called the White Man's Beach.
White
Now
Man
the wall
Beach.
is broken, so our people are in control. It's a typical fishing village. Up to now, nothing has changed. In terms of the treatment, everything. Let me tell you, I mentioned some people that came in. Mama, Nancy Pelosi, the wife of Trump, and last 2 weeks, Vice President was here. When they come, before they are coming, they will come to us and help them arrange everything. And the day that they will come, they will tell us we shouldn't come to work. The castle will be closed down until they leave.
When the white people come,
If those people are coming, those people.
When those folks are coming, he said they close it down.
They wouldn't have getting a chance to open this castle.
so they close it for the exclusive.
At that time, we were asked to stay there. Today, when they are coming, they say we should stay here.
I know all.
Nothing has changed.
Nothing have changed.
He said nothing has changed.
Same thing you see here.
So when they come down,
If people are coming,
So when Obama and people come, they close
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But they come on. They come in. They come in. They don't want the story told. Oh my God.
Nothing.
During that time, skeletons of 2 enslaved Africans called Summer Castle from New York and Madame Cresta from Jamaica. They brought the remains to Accra, that's where we are gathered today. They were in 2 caskets, the door was open. They were taken to people who had shown the graves for short African funeral ceremonies. From there, the remains of the 2 black people were carried to a town called Simmons, where we have a slave river for reburial. So because 2 skeletons came and are with us on our soil, buried 98, that is why we have renamed the door. The door for King. It means out of the millions taken away, 2 remains of 2.
So remains of 2 were brought back that went through this
That
door.
is telling everybody that at least once in our lifetime we should come to Ghana, for that matter, Cape Coast Castle, and go through the door of return. That is exactly what you have done this afternoon, 3 years after the day of return. So I am so proud of you for return. So we have returned. But the choice is not the way we are returning. We are returning. We are not done yet too.
We're going upstairs. These are where the slave masters, the Europeans, used to live up here. This is a church, allegedly a church, that they had the Africans build. Wow. So we're on the 2nd floor now. Headed up to a 3rd floor.
What have you noticed? Did you notice something?
Yeah.
What is it?
They have more of the windows.
Something.
It has windows, it has
Windows and the floor.
You need to notice the temperature change.
Yes.
That is what I'm interested in. The temperature is not the same like the entry.
It's cooler up here.
It's cooler. So the white is upstairs like this. So let's
It's cooler up here on the third floor.
where you can get more fresh air. I'm talking about what happened in this Palava.
What room did he say this was for?
I think this was a trading block, but he said he's going to tell us.
Oh, okay.
Palava Hall.
So this room was where they sold the slave. Like, well, oh, they stole it here.
Yeah, Palava is
Huh?
Negotiation.
Negotiation.
You see a
So this is the third floor.
This is the white one. White one.
These are the white folks' headquarters.
Ocean breeze.
yeah, the auction.
In the first place, have you heard of Palava before?
Yes.
What does it mean?
Palava in our place, like trouble.
Like Wahala.
Yes. Fela is a musician.
Confusion.
Yeah,
Yes,
confusion.
My
confusion.
beautiful sister, there's some light at the back, the flashlight.
When we go in dark places.
Can you
Take it off?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so sharp.
Sorry.
Can you be without the light?
Is it off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Florida.
Oh, Nigeria. Yeah.
Yes. Palava may mean trouble, talking,
Problem.
confusion, problem, etc., etc. But that place was the market, auctioning block, where our ancestors were auctioning upon arrival from hinterland.
Oh, sorry.
Where they take them to the dungeons. And I want to take this opportunity and tell you how they got our ancestors. There were several ways of getting the people. One, Europeans captured some physically using guns. Two, they worked with some black people to get other black people.
True.
Today, before they will get you, they use your own people against you. Do you know that?
Yeah.
They use some Africans to get other Africans as slaves. Some Africans also called slave raiders, like armed robbers of today. When the whites came, they identified those people. So they supplied them with guns, whiskey, sugar, sardines, mirrors, other things. And their system of trading then was barter. You know barter?
Yeah.
Yes.
So they forced the robbers to accept their goods because there was no money to pay for. The robbers would organize themselves into groups like we are now. They'll go and raid villages. They'll capture innocent people at gunpoint, bring them to the white in exchange for what they gave them. Some of the Africans were told that they were taking them to abroad for a good living. They accepted the offer. But the last one that brought majority was ethnic conflict, intertribal wars. We have to know as black people that before the white men came to Africa in 1471, which was the Portuguese, then there was nothing like Ghana or Nigeria or Burkina Faso. Then we had kingdoms, there were empires, African states. So we were ruled by kings and queens. And there was law and order. But after the kings and queens would fight each other by boundary, just to expand their territory. Sometimes they fight about land they perceived to be rich of gold or any natural resource. But before Europeans arrived, the kings and queens would go to war with weapons like bows and arrows that they made locally in Africa. When they go to war with these things, after a long fight, one tribe or one state would lose the war. The losers would be taken as domestic slaves. It was more like indentured servitude or servitude. Those people, they have some amount of freedom. They could marry, raise free children like this. They could acquire property. Later, they were integrated into the family system. They were not kept in buildings like this. They were also not transported to Europe and Americas permanently.
Never traded for money.
Free people in society. And I believe that system of slavery has been with human from time immemorial. In ancient Rome, Egypt, even in the Bible. Let me give an example. In Ghana, I know for sure that not long ago, if you own somebody who hasn't got that amount of money to pay in this country, you can allow your son, your daughter, sometimes your wife to go and work for the one you owe for a number of years just to pay that debt. The period of which you work, you become a slave. But they will not keep you in that house.
They were not treated as commodities.
Exactly.
They actually did
If you are
it.
working like that and you are a woman and you are beautiful, like you women are beautiful here, with a good character, and somebody from the master's family should get married to you, automatically you free yourself from being a slave to be part of the family. There is no way I can enslave my wife. I don't think you got a second slave.
Right.
Even there was a system whereby if you are working as a slave at the time, and you are a guy and you are hardworking and loyal to your master, the master can entrust his property into your hand. So in case the master is dead, you rise from nowhere to be the head of the entire family. So before the white man came, he had this system all over. And when they arrived, situation changed. Quickly, they capitalized on the African system. So they introduced guns to the chiefs who were leaders. The guns were brought to replace the then bows and arrow. So we know the power of the gun.
Right.
They added the whiskey, sardine, sugar, tobacco. They were given to the African chiefs who were leaders, and they were to pay. But the system was still battered. And they would tell the chiefs that they need the guns to protect themselves. Use the guns to fight the other tribe, take everything. By so doing, they created division among the already divided Africans. So the guns get to the chiefs. They organize their people, use their weapons to go and fight the other tribes. So there were conflicts here and there among the African tribes. So the more they go to the war, the end result was to get people like us as prisoners of war in exchange for European goods. This was the system 500 years ago. If you look at what is happening globally in the 21st century, fellow Africans, let's be frank, has something really changed at all?
No.
Has something changed?
No. Divide
Nothing
and
has
conquer.
changed. Oh, yeah, but
Watch this. Hey, no. Come over.
nothing has changed. The system is still working in a modernized way. Nothing has really changed. The system is still here in a modernized way, in a more refined form. Exactly.
Yeah.
The people were taken from all over West Africa. Some came from your country, Nigeria, Togo, Burkina Faso, all over, including Ghana.
Yeah.
There are places in this country like Salaga, in northern Ghana. Salaga. It's closer to the border of Burkina Faso. Salaga, and Togo, Paga, Nanya, Timbo. Those were centers where they gathered them. And take notes, where they gathered the prisoners of war, where they brought them in. They call those places slave camps. Today, when they create war intentionally, and people are fighting, those who are displaced, where they gather them, they call these places refugee camps.
Right.
So they only keep massaging the names.
Yeah.
From this center, they
Same thing.
will be made to walk from Nigeria to Salaga, through Brongahafo, through Kumasi. When they got to Asima, so they had a stopover. But they might have walked for like close to 8 months to go. So they were tired, angry, sick. But they had a stopover at Asima. So then they will shake their heads. They'll be made to bath. They'll give them food to eat for them to regain some lost energy. From the Asimas, when arriving from Asimas to this place, just about at most 2 days walking to this place. When they arrive, they'll come from here. They'll go to the Palava Hall. That was where they do auctioning. Because of auctioning, there was some misunderstanding between the buyer and the supplier over price. That's why the word Palava came in trouble. Came
Okay.
So after that, they were identified using their trademarks. They would put a metal stamp. They would use their trademarks, put a design in form of metal stamp.
Like
put
a
it in
cow.
Fire. When it's hot, they'll stamp it.
Their initials.
Because if I buy 40 people, you want 10, you want 50, you want 70. But we're going to stay together as men. I need to know my people from your people. So they'll brand them first before they go to the dungeons. But Palava may mean trouble talking. It came from Portuguese, a Portuguese word. Palava originates from Portuguese. So that was a market at the time.
So I'm just thinking, right, if I buy 40 slaves, right, why would I want my slaves to then go down to that dungeon, which is where we started, and risk them dying?
Thank you.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that don't make sense. So if I just spend
Thank you.
money and I purchase you guys, I don't want y'all down there. I don't want to risk losing you and you dying, and I've already paid.
Thank you.
Yeah, like, I don't understand.
It's a very good answer question. You are not the first way to answer this question. You know, at the time, they were Britain as a country formed companies to trade. And the company would pay taxes to the government. And also, because of that, Britain appointed a government to oversee the activities that was ongoing. And at that same time, they wanted to be in business forever and make more money. So they agreed, consensus, that they will allow South Africa, they will portray some of the slaves to die. So that they will be in business forever. Because if they had freed their lives, they would have fought and killed all the white people who back their homes. So we agreed, okay, if I buy 40 people, you buy 50. We have to portray it. Some will die, but some will surely survive. And by so then we can remain in business forever. So they intentionally did that. Intentionally. It was intentional.
They also filed insurance claims.
Yes.
For some of
but
their.
that was during the latter part of the trade.
Okay.
But there were some rights against them.
Yes.
So why did they call this a church? Why did they? Why would they name this place a church?
Church.
The church.
The top.
No, the church was built as an additional structure to the castle.
Okay.
Not the entire building is not called a church. They built a church on top of the dungeon.
Yeah.
That's one
Oh, they were
structure.
very religious.
Well,
What I want to ask is that.
Yeah, no, let me finish this one. Let me finish this one. So, they intentionally weakened them so that they would not rise against them. They were afraid of their lives in the first place. Two, there were fewer ships. Well, to come from England to take the slaves.
gotta
to
wait
New
for
York.
the ships.
So, for instance, we are brought today, and the next day there was a ship you would go without going through this.
Right.
And
You
the
have
ship
to wait.
left today, we are brought the next day. You have to wait for the ship to get to North
Yeah.
America. You stay for 3 months. Yes, 3 months.
For the ship to come and load again.
And the other reason was they said it was a kind of selection process. So that if you're not able to go through when you get there, you will not be like you'll be an asset, you'll be
The liability.
a liability. And the last one was the insurance issue. When systems were developing, so the British and Britain developed insurance companies system. So some of the slaves here insure their slaves. Some of the traders insure their slaves in the dungeon. Some of them intentionally weaken them
Yeah.
for them to die. So
Threw
when they
them
get back
in
to
the
England,
in the
the insurance
ocean.
companies will pay the money. So
Yeah.
they get paid for that.
Some of them threw them in the ocean. So they
Yeah,
they were thrown in the ocean to file claims.
No, apart from
and said it.
Kweku, no African was buried.
Right.
Apart from the money, only the one person, a separate grave. Apart from that person, no black man was buried. But the African who died were thrown into the sea. But they have a cemetery in town where they bury their dead. Here in Cape Coast. Yes, you wanted to say something.
Like by the shop.
Catholic Church. It was built at Elmina Castle around 1492. The first Catholic Church, the first church in Africa.
That was bad news for the men.
Portuguese were at Elmina. Portuguese were Catholics. When that took over, Dutch were Protestants, so they didn't even use the Portuguese church. So at the time when the English came here, they were also Anglican, so they built this one. So this is not the first church in Africa, but this is the first Anglican church in Ghana.
So the branding process that you was talking about. After they
So the
branded
first
them
church
through
in
the
Ghana
dungeon,
was here.
and then they went through the door.
This church here.
No, not this one.
Which one?
Elmina Castle.
And
It's a
then
different one.
the other castle we're going to tomorrow. Okay.
Even if apart when they got to this here,
They raped the men.
because for instance,
go
there
there.
were,
One of the men, they didn't want the women.
there were several merchants buying for different companies. So if I represent Liverpool, you represent Manchester or any other company, I'll brand my slaves with my company's name. So when the ship came, the slot that I have on the ship, if I have 20 or 50 slots, 50 will go. If you have 100, 100 will go. If you have 200, in that order. So when it got to their final destination, so after buying them, I think that place to they were branded again. But here for them to know who bought who and who will go like yes, in that order.
Manifest.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's it. The soldiers were there.
Okay.
They built that one to protect this investment, to protect this castle.
They built
Where
what?
they can see everywhere in Cape Coast.
Yeah.
So they built to protect this. And they were supported by this candle. The candle served as a backup. Let's talk about the churches also. See this structure with the cream color?
Yeah.
The one that crossed the road, that is Anglican church. The church above the dungeon gave birth to this one.
Okay.
The one on top of the building was built in slavery time. Colonial time, when British colonized Ghana, I told you the capital was in Cape Coast. Population was then growing, so they went to build that church to accommodate more people. There's another one with a faded green roof where we have this pylon. That is Methodist church. That's the first Methodist church in Ghana. And the Methodist church is a breakaway branch from the Anglican church. It's breakaway because there was so many issues. One of the pastors called Joseph Downlow broke out from Methodists, Anglican, for Methodists, around 1803 thereabouts. So that's the first Anglican Methodist church in Ghana. There's another one there with a cross. Around with a cross, that's the Catholic church. So because of the churches around this part of Cape Coast, because this part of Cape Coast, Chapel Square, Chapel Prince Church. They have some shops, where the shops are now. Those rooms was then British soldiers' barracks. Barracks.
Okay.
The one in the center was their kitchen, where they prepare food for the entire castle. Let's go there.
Remember these shops there? How about these?
That's the kitchen, is that center building. And these are the rooms for the British. They said they only had a maximum of 200 soldiers that will live here.
So this is the court. I told you after slave trade 400 years, British colonized Ghana for 113 years. And colonial time, the capital of Ghana was in Cape Coast. Then moved to Accra 1877. Before Accra became the national capital, this was a court. First law. Nigeria. So was the capital of Lagos to
Thank you.
1994. Not too long. 92. But I was living.
I'm learning a lot. Y'all learning a lot? Oh my God. Sickening.
Communication.
Fort William. So that's what you see.
Top of that hill.
It's Sunday. Can I get closer? Have a look. Have a look.
That says communication room.
Soldiers were in a Fort William 7 days in a week. Some of the soldiers were here. And because the fort is on a hill, if there is an attack from any angle, soldiers they will see first. So if they detect the attack, they will communicate to the soldiers in the castle through this hole by raising of the flag. They could flash a mirror. In the night, there is light because then there was no telephone. So this is communication room. They exchange signals.
That's why it's
And the communication room goes up to the governor's bedroom. So we are going to the bedroom.
They would raise a flag and flash a light here if there was any attack. So that's why they call it the communication room.
I figured why my toes are forward. All the times that we're sitting
It's the governor's bedroom and hall. Oh, he got a suite, huh?
Yeah.
A cool, and it's cool up here. It's governor's bedroom. Ain't this a blitz?
Yeah, get a nice breeze.
Mm-hmm.
See the ocean.
Ocean view.
So we have climbers and two of brothers and sisters. We are in the governor's residence. What is a living room for the governor? One governor. Without one, just one. Without a wife and children. Look at the living room. The living space. 9 windows here. 9 windows. We were in the dungeons. You see windows there at all? No, they are proposed lights for ventilation for 200 people. Now one person lived like this, with 9 windows, spacious place, nice view. That's what we're doing.
Well, our people suffering down at the bottom, dying.
Isn't that the same thing they still do now with the marginalization? And they still do it in their systems. They keep all the nice stuff for themselves.
Yeah.
And make the crumbs for black people.
Yes.
They still do it now. It's still the same thing.
This is the bedroom. How many windows can you see in the bedroom?
5. This 5.
1, 2.
So 5 plus 9.
This is his bedroom.
14. And there's the governor.
14 windows.
One more. There are 2 doors. 60 in all. 21st century. How many windows do we have in the living rooms? This one I don't need any answer. One person lived like this. Almost 400 today. It is difficult having 3, 4, 5 villages and living rooms. You can see how they treated us, how they live, how they are still living today, what they are still doing today. Now this wooden floor is not original. The floor was wood throughout. They used wood, which were brought from England. And we have changed all many times. We have been doing same to the windows and doors. But this wood in particular, the one that is original, this is for the British. This is called pitch pine timber. They brought this in addition to the British to balance the empty ships to Africa. When we were doing this, our ancestors as balanced. We are hesitating going down, but after the door, right, you see gardeners working across it.
Yes, ma'am. So that's his closet.
This one can see cross ventilation.
Governor reception area.
You can see more cannons all from the Europeans to defend the castle. Some more cannons. I want to show you Almina Castle from here. Now look at something here. Look straight that way. The sea is rough today. I can still see. See the land is curving to the far end, to the tip. That is the Almina Castle. There's something to the tip. That's Almina, the far end. That castle was built in the year 1482 by Portuguese under the leadership of one Don Diego G. Azanguita. It is about 541 years old as at now. This one was built 1665. This is 358 years old. And the Almina Castle is 183 years older than this one. So if you are older than somebody 183, I think you are older than this. Slaves from Almina were taken to Brazil, some to Caribbean, others to Europe. From this place they went to North America, others to Europe, others also to Caribbean. And the Almina Castle is the first and the biggest European building in sub-Saharan Africa. It's bigger and older than all the castles, including this one. Yes, I'm not frank with you. I work at Almina before.
That's in Accra?
No,
Where is it?
No, Almina.
Oh, okay. It's right here. Something likewise.
It's not far from me, just about some 15 minutes drive.
Yeah, we visiting there
So take note.
tomorrow.
And that route, Almina, British were here, they were fighting each other. They were fighting, they were not friends. No, they were fighting. This thing went on like this. And the time they signed certain treaties that they will not attack each other again. like what they still do today. They say they will not attack each other. They'll sign some treaties.
Welcome to Ukraine.
So this room is for
Reception.
Storage or something.
Right. If you want to take some pictures, you can put that right there. I'm here waiting for you about 3 minutes. Take your pictures and come back here. England for 150 years enjoying monopoly. No European nation was trading slaves.
Right.
They were making a lot of money. So Dutch who in Europe also became envious of the Portuguese because their economy was booming. So they wanted to get to the source of Portuguese revenue. So they trade from Europe to Elmina. He said, okay, this way you are trading, making a lot of money. So they fought the Portuguese at Elmina in 1637. The fight went on for 3 days. So finally, Portuguese surrendered to the Dutch. Because when the Portuguese were there, they were not thinking of any other European attacking them. Their defense was very weak. The Portuguese took them, Dutch took them by surprise. They took over. So when the Dutch got to Elmina in 1637, 50 years later, the British also came from Europe to this place.
The British.
So British came. Later the Danes came. All of them were joining.
Yeah.
But they saw that they were making money.
Yeah.
Yes. So Portuguese were the first,
Yeah, got you.
followed by the Dutch, and the British, and the Danes, even the French came, Germans came.
It was all Europe.
All of Europe.
All Europe.
Because they made a lot of money.
That was the First World War.
So they
yeah.
That
That's
was,
what
they
it-
survived.
That was the
Yeah.
first.
That was the
World
First
War.
World
that
War.
was the first
They
World
refused
War.
to
because
name
the
it
whole
a war.
world came and waged war on
Against
Africa.
Africa.
Yes.
Several millions died, but they don't put it on record like that. But that's the truth.
So when they are talking about human rights abuse, and they are silence of these words,
Yeah.
and they are talking about something different, it's not us we get crazy. But they've abused us for over 500 years. That's what we should be talking about. That's what we should be talking about
They
today.
talk
Whole
about the
story.
Holocaust all the time. But
Yes.
they want to suppress this.
Yes.
They don't want to
So we make them whom they are today.
Teach it in the school.
They depend on labor for survival and for everything.
And today, the French is still relying on Africa for its sole survival.
Not only French,
Something they call
Europe is great. They are depending on Africa for survival. Even in China.
Yeah.
They are depending on us. That's why they never want us. That's why they don't want us to unite. But if we unite, they will never get what they are getting. So
And that's why they keep you in debt.
Yeah.
exactly.
That's
So
why
they keep
color
manipulating you all the
And
time.
don't forget,
It's something like
they
that, but I don't
all
think it's
of
color
this in
theory.
the name of
It's
Jesus.
Religion, the name of
The
religion.
first sheep, the first slave sheep was named Jesus.
Yeah.
Not only the
Don't-
first
don't-
ship.
let's not
Other
forget.
ships, some of them were named Jesus, Holy Mary,
Yeah.
and all these saints and all
Yeah.
those things.
So does anybody know, because I can't think of it, but in the States, this has been like recent where they want to start introducing like our history, talk about
Florida.
these things in school, but what are they calling it?
CRT.
CRT.
Yeah.
Yes,
critical
critical
race
race
theory.
theory.
Critical race theory.
So that's something now that people are trying to get into the schools, and they're calling it that. But of course, you know, you have to